Upstairs, they are still dancing. You should not have opened that door. You thought the door would lead to a substation. Wires, transformers, gas pipes, something you could break, something you could understand. But there is no substation, no transformers, no gas lines, only white tile walls, steel tables, and rows of silver tanks feeding into the ceiling vents. Your knife feels useless in your hand. If this were a bomb, maybe you could cut a wire. But this is something else, something quieter, something worse. You step closer. The flashlight shakes in your hand. The first label comes into focus. Sample A, 7, neurotoxin derivatives. Then you see the second label. Sample B, 2, aerosol carrier. Your blood turns cold. Aerosol. Airborne. The word crawls through your mind before you fully understand it. Victor lied. This was never about an explosion. Across the room, a monitor wakes up. A 3D map of the city fills the screen. Red lines spread outward from Yonly like infected veins. Subway vents, central air systems, service tunnels, water lines. Every route leads outward. Every line ends with people who have no idea what is coming. Then you see the countdown. 1 hour, 41 minutes, 56 seconds. Under it, another line appears. Pre-release test initiated. It has already started. You rush to the control computer and start pressing keys. You do not know what you are looking for. A shutdown button, a cancel command, anything. The screen only asks for administrator access. You grab the cables under the console, but they are sealed behind a clear protective shell. You slam the knife handle into it. The plastic cracks, but not enough. No alarm screams. No red countdown voice warns you. That is what makes it worse. The system is quiet, obedient, already doing exactly what it was built to do. Then the door clicks behind you. Your whole body locks. You turn slowly, knife in your hand, and see someone standing in the doorway. A man in a white protective suit stands there, holding a black tablet. He does not look surprised. He looks like a doctor who just found a rat on the operating table. "What is this?" you ask. Your voice comes out rough, almost broken. The man lowers his eyes to the tablet before answering. "A selection system." "Selection for what?" you ask. He looks up through the fogged visor. "For who gets to live in the new order." He taps the tablet once. The laboratory lights shift from cold white to dark red. Behind you, the tanks begin to hiss. A new warning appears on the screen. Biohazard sealing procedure initiated. Unvaccinated subject detected. You look up at the ceiling vents as the metal shutters begin to open. You run for the door and slam your shoulder into it. Pain shoots down your arm. The door does not move. The man watches calmly. "Do not waste your strength," he says. You are patient 0 now. Above you, the ceiling vents slide open. At first, nothing comes out. Then, a faint green mist begins to gather inside the metal slats. Not enough to fill the room yet. Just enough to let you know it is real. You cover your mouth and back away. Knife in one hand, flashlight in the other. Your eyes race across the room, searching for anything that can stop this before the air changes forever. The man in the suit glances down at his tablet like he is checking a patient chart. "Exposure threshold in under 4 minutes," he says. You should feel honored. You do not answer. Your eyes drop to the floor drains, then to the thick pipe running along the wall. Fire suppression, water feed, humidity control. Then you remember something stupid. 2 weeks ago, someone burned a tray of sugared lemons in the prep kitchen. The sprinklers dumped half the ceiling onto the floor. The whole club lost power on one side for 20 minutes. Not because of the water, because of the humidity sensors. Expensive systems hate moisture. Precision dies in condensation. If this lab is built like the rest of Yonly, it is elegant, expensive, and fragile. The man starts walking toward you, slow and careful, like you are already part of the experiment. Do not resist, he says. Your stress response is valuable. You grab the nearest steel tray rack and kick it over. Metal crashes across the floor. The sound explodes through the lab. The man flinches. You run. At the far wall, behind a thin glass cover, you see it. Emergency suppression override. A red lever. Not for the experiment. For the building. For fire. For flooding. For chaos. You stop with your hand over the lever. If you pull it, maybe the system aborts. Maybe the room floods. Maybe the whole place shorts out. Maybe you die faster. But if you do nothing, the air wins. You make the choice. You raise the knife and smash the glass. It explodes across the wall in a burst of sharp, glittering fragments. Your hand closes around the red lever. For half a second, it refuses to move. Then, it drops with a heavy metallic clunk. Nothing happens. Then everything happens. Every sprinkler in the ceiling erupts at once. Water slams down from above, like the room has split open. The green haze tears apart under the force of the water. It swirls, thins, and collapses toward the floor drains. The air turns into chaos. Across the room, the monitor begins to scream in red text. Humidity too high. Dispersal failure. Aerosol integrity compromised. For the first time, the system looks afraid. The man in the suit stumbles backward, one arm up to shield a tablet from the water. For the first time, his perfect calm cracks. "What did you do?" he snaps. You do not answer. You run to the console. The countdown stutters, freezes, then drops into warning mode. Launch sequence aborted. For now, your heart jumps too early. Under the aborted message, a second line begins to load. Backup sequence preparing. Routing alternative release path. Behind you, the man lunges. You turn too late. He slams into you, and both of you crash against the wet console. This is not a clean fight. It is panic, slipping boots, elbows, breath, and survival. The tablet flies from his hand and skids across the floor. You see the screen before it spins away. Alternative route. VIP air system. Your stomach drops. You stop the lab. You did not stop Victor. The man in the suit is not finished. He drags himself across the flooded floor, reaching for a dropped injector near the drains. You kick the injector into the drain and snatch the tablet before he can grab it. The screen is cracked, wet, but still alive. The lab door is half unlocked from the power surge. You wrench it open and stare into the B3 corridor, dark, wet, and washed in emergency red. You look down at the screen while running. VIP air system. Release node armed. Routing confirmed. The danger is no longer under the club. It is upstairs. Then you hear boots. More than one. Flashlights cut through the corridor ahead. Victor's security team is already moving down toward B3. You do not run toward them. You slip through a side maintenance door and flatten yourself against the wall inside the service shaft, barely breathing. You know these service paths better than they do. Ice deliveries, trash runs, late-night cleanup. The shaft climbs toward the floors above, and you start moving. Above you, the bass is still pounding through the walls. Music, laughter, glass. The club is still alive. Nobody upstairs knows what is coming. On the VIP floor, the party has not stopped. Drinks are raised. Bodies are moving. A faint white haze curls near the ceiling, and no one looks up. You stop at the final hatch and look through the gap. They are still dancing. The vents are armed, and you are almost out of time. You stop the lab, but above you, the music is still playing. The VIP floor is still full, and the air system is already armed.